Berry Aviation's flight operations team on USAG-KA is the team dedicated to the critical job of shuttling commuter employees and cargo between the islands of Kwajalein and Roy Moore. And site manager Steve Simpson took a few moments to explain the skills and experience it takes to fly as a contractor for this mission on the Garrison.
First, I want to say that we have an extremely experienced flight crews out here. Very stringent hiring requirements just right off the bat to get in the door.
Pilots destined for USAG-KA first, of course, need a commercial pilot's license with plenty of flight hours to boot. Then comes 3 weeks of school, learning the ins and outs of the aerial workhorse at the Garrison, the Fairchild Metroliner twin turboprop. Safety and emergency training, simulator training, and FAA evaluations are included. Most pilots will then do this process all over again, this time for the UH-72 Lakota helicopter, which is also an important airframe on the Garrison.
Once we're here and we're working, every year you get 2 evaluations in the helicopter on island. You'll get 1 evaluation, you have to go back to Texas, and 1 evaluation also, that's for the airplane, and then also another evaluation in the airplane here annually.
There are 9 pilots on the aviation team, 7 of which are dual rated, meaning they commercially fly both helicopters and fixed wings. Only about 6% of all FAA licensed pilots are certified to do this. On USAG-KA, that adds up to a lot of flying for pilots here, Simpson said.
Our average flight time of our pilots is roughly about 6,000 to 7,000 hours. We have several with over 10,000 hours, and we have roughly about over 450 years of aviation experience out here on Kwajalein. So when you get in this plane, anybody who's sitting up front, you can feel very comfortable. To be honest with you, everybody here is probably more experienced than the average airline crew that you get on. So we got some good folks with a lot of experience that have flown a lot of stuff, 757s and all over the world, and helicopters in combat, you name it. So we got some good folks.
Helbert Alfred is one such pilot with a lot of experience.
My name is Helbert Alfred, and I'm a pilot. I've been here on Kwajalein for going on 20 years right now.
Alfred saw his first airplane as a young boy on Ilik Atoll. It's been a dream come true to work as a commercial pilot on Kwaj for the past 20 years, he said.
For a guy who grew up and was born in the outer islands, it's something that's unbelievable. To be able to defy the nature or the forces of gravity is just unbelievable. You know, for a guy who came from the outer islands, it's just incredible.
Pilots owe a lot to the small army of mechanics who keep the planes running. Few people know how the Metro ticks better than the maintenance manager and mechanic, Ed Kramer.
My name is Ed Kramer. I've been living on Kwaj for 6.5 years, but I started coming out here in 2003 when Berry Aviation first showed up, so I've been associated with this program since day one out here.
There is one constant evil each mechanic on Kwajalein Atoll must confront on the job.
Out here is corrosion. That is the big deal. It was a big learning curve for us. Having worked in Puerto Rico for several years, we had corrosion, but nothing like showed up out here, and it took us a while, a couple of years, to figure out a program that works, and as you can see, the airplanes look pretty good.
The mechanic's dedication to the airframes does not go unnoticed, especially to the pilots.
You know, I'm quite honored to have been able to fly with and work with a group of professionals, which, you know, I couldn't ask for a better team. You know, the mechanics are just great. For a place like Kwajalein, which is really isolated, they're still able to put these airplanes in the air. It's just unbelievable. I'll trust my life to these guys.
John Burbowski, another mechanic, gives some of the credit to the aviation team's success on the Garrison to the Metro's no-nonsense design and build.
I like the material. I like the metal. It's a lot of steel, titanium, aluminum, magnesium, not much plastic, not too much computer. It's just basic, good, solid, reliable.
The old school airplane.
Yeah.
Kramer has something to be proud of when he tallies up the number of flights performed, the miles flown, and passengers and cargo carried. since the early 2000s, when the Metro was first brought out to the atoll.
All total, we have flown 44,371 flights as of Monday. Basically 12,311 hours. When you figure out the 50 miles to Roy and back that we fly and everything, we put in well over 2.2 million miles of flying. We've carried 576,000 passengers and 35 million pounds of freight over the years. That's about where we stand right now. If you can think of it, these airplanes were built in 1987. So you take a 2.5-ton pickup truck, come out here and fill it up every day, 6 times a day, and fly it back and forth to Roy for 2 million miles. I don't think you'll find another vehicle out here that's lasted that long.
Simpson emphasized the importance of the team's Marshallese workforce to the fixed-wing operations' success over the years.
In regards to the local nationals who work for Barry, one thing I think is pretty cool is we have 24 employees, of which 33% of those are RMI. Almost all of them are our longest tenured employees. We have, of course, 2 Marshallese pilots, one Albert Elfert and Jeff Wassey, who have both been here coming up on 20 years. We have 2 RMIs in our supply room, which are critically important. 3 guys that work in our hangar, and an admin girl in our maintenance office, which is kind of almost like the admin mom out here. She kind of runs a pretty important show out here. So.
Of course, the aviation team couldn't do its job without the ceaseless help of the airfield operations team. They're the folks on the garrison who perform flight manifesting, fueling, baggage and cargo handling, flight scheduling, air traffic monitoring, and much more. Together, the pilots, mechanics, ground teams, administrative and supply staff, and others work together day in and day out, flight after flight, to perform the critical mission of the Metro flight on U.S. Army Garrison Kwajalein Atoll.